See, the temple has outsourced their sacrifice system of sheep to those Bethlehem shepherds. And so you went into the city. Now, why did you go into the city? Why didn't you go pick out your sheep from those shepherds like you pick out a Christmas tree from the farmer? Because this was one of the things that caused Jesus to throw a temple tantrum. You see, they had so set up the system that those sheep had to be what? Totally faultless, blameless, and who would give the certificate they were faultless and blameless? The temple. And you couldn't, so you bought your sheep from them to make sure that it would be accepted because it was certified. But you can even buy it in normal currency. You had to change your currency. Of course, now at every one of these steps, first of all, you get the money you can buy the sheep from. There's a little kickback that goes to the bankers. And then to get the official certified sheep. But wait a minute, that's a lot of sheep to get into Jerusalem. How do you get all those sheep into Jerusalem for Passover so that people can then go buy them? Well, they had the shepherds of Bethlehem drove the sheep in. When? It's official. There's an official date. You can look it up. It's required and it's established that on the day after the last Sabbath before Passover, those Bethlehem shepherds would drive the sheep in a procession in the city of Jerusalem. Wait a minute here. The day after the last Passover, or the last Sabbath before Passover. Let me repeat that again. The day after the last Passover. The last Sabbath before Passover. So there were a couple of processions going on at Palm Sunday. It wasn't just Jesus on this lowly donkey processing into the city. You had thousands, tens of thousands of sheep being driven to ultimately slaughter. There's a whole other procession. A procession of sheep being led to the slaughter, but a procession of the perfect Lamb of God riding on that donkey. There's not just one procession going on. There were two. In fact, there was another one as Pilate made his procession, an imperial procession going in. So there are three processions on Palm Sunday. The imperial one, the political establishment, the religious establishment, and Jesus, who turns the tables on them all. Now, see, part of the reason why you had this date of you had to get those sheep in at a certain time, because the requirement was, and this is part of when the Hebrew people get a little urban and they couldn't raise their own sheep, and all the certification things that were going on. You had to live with those lambs for 2 days. So when you bought the approved, certified, blameless sheep, then you took it into your home and you had to treat it like a member of the family. Feed it, love it, let it do whatever it wanted for 2 days. And then they could be sacrificed. Now, the key thing here to this story is that those lambs that those Bethlehem shepherds raised had to be, what's that phrase again? Spotless. Without blemish. Now, if you're a Bethlehem shepherd, how in the world did you handle this requirement? And, well, just read the story. Trust it. What would happen is there's a lot of damage that took place right in the lambing, in the birthing process of these lambs. And if there's any defect in that lamb at all, when it was initially born for those Bethlehem shepherds, they just cut it, just slit its throat. We're done with it. We have time for it.